Afternoon, guys. This is Klein. Welcome to the Klein Corner. And, today we want to go ahead and talk about another human interaction that I want to talk about, kind of bring it to you guys' attention. So, this is actually about love triangles. Do they exist? How do they affect people? Is it really a love triangle? Let's go ahead and get it in. If you kind of like stuff like this, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification. Just let me know that you don't mind my ranting. But even if you do mind my ranting, I'm gonna keep talking about it. So anyway, jumping right in. Love triangles. I've kind of been hearing about this lately in my circle, and I've been hearing about it even just like at work, and I guess it's kind of becoming a thing lately. And I don't know, it's kind of crazy. And when I think about it, the possibility of it and what it means, I guess I'm a little bit perplexed by the idea. And again, maybe this is because of my limited experience when it comes to that kind of thing. Even when I was in a situation where it seemed like a woman liked me and one other person, or I heard that, a friend of mine was in love with two women, or, anything like that, there's always been some slight differences about it. And I wanted to just kind of air it out and touch base on a few of these different things. So first off, let me just go with what I hear a love triangle seems to be for people. So a love triangle is when, this is just my 2 cents on it, is when supposedly you have one person who admits feelings of love, for two people. And however, they can't decide which one they want to commit to. That's interesting to me because I don't think that's really a situation. I've always felt like there's always prerequisites and little things in between that determine if you are attracted to two people. And, touching base on that today, I guess the biggest thing I think matters when it comes to these kind of things is, the situation. I don't think that somebody is always confused about picking two people. What happens is you pick one person, and then there's some kind of circumstance or circumstances that interfere with your ability to really commit to them or give yourself to them in the way that you want to. Whether it's because you have a situation that's going on, or they have a situation that prevents you from being able to do that. And so what ends up happening is you kind of settle. You settle for something that, fills the void, I guess. And what happens is when you settle for that situation, that second one to try to fill the void, there's a point where you accept that primary person is on, you're not going to be able to get them, acquire them, be acquired, whatever the situation may be. You move on. You attempt to move on. And when that happens, it's always some kind of weird situation. Like they come back into your life. They, they do something that draws your attention and draws your emotion, pulls and chains at your heart, and then then the situation changes, because then it's like you're kind of waiting for your first choice to ante up, but because they're not, or they can't for whatever reason, then you're still kind of settling for number two. And this is what a love triangle ends up looking like. When your first choice can't be who you want them to be or ante up the way you want. This is why I don't think it's a love triangle. I think it's just a scenario where you've settled for less, and you you kind of hope in vain that your primary choice does what you want them to do, while your second choice, usually they're doing exactly what you want them to do, but they're not the first choice. So it kind of sounds like I'm babbling when I say it out loud, but this is just kind of the way it is. Now, have I ever been in a love triangle where I cared for two people? Yeah, I have before, but I still wouldn't call it a love triangle. You know, I had to be honest, and the honest part is that I had already chosen someone deep in my heart. I had chosen someone, but I couldn't have them. And in my attempt to move on and do something different with my life, yeah, I tried to move on and find someone else, and then that other person came back and kind of threw a wrench in my entire plan and what I wanted, who I was chasing, and then I had to hit pause because emotionally I'm torn between the one I had originally picked, who I can't really touch, and then the one who has the new one who had come into my life. I don't think that's a love triangle. I think that's settling, you know? This is something that, for those of you who is part of that triangle, you need to be very careful. You need to pay very close attention. Because what it means for you is you're waiting on someone else. You've pressed pause on your heart while you wait for your pick to ante up in the way that you need to ante up. You know, maybe this means they're torn between two people. You know, maybe this means that other person is with somebody and you're like, oh, maybe they'll break up. You know, maybe it means any number of things, you know, maybe they're locked up. I don't know. But the one thing that I think I want to be able to extend to everybody watching this is that you have to do your very best to not press pause. Because the biggest situation here that I'm learning, that I'm hearing from all kinds of people, especially at work, man, because, you know, I'm able to talk to a lot of people at work and, you know, they tell me their stories and it's nuts. You know, the biggest takeaway that I would have for everyone here is that while you're part of a love triangle, you need to understand you're not being put first. You know, I mean, it's really hard to want to fight for someone who doesn't put you first. You know, if you really care about somebody, if you really love someone, you take a chance. You know, it's a pain on your heart, their heart, and whoever option number 3 is, because everybody's being put on pause for one person who's too indecisive to figure it out. You know, the other thing is if you're one of those people who moved on and, you know, then you found something new and they're doing everything right, keep their feelings into account too. Because while if your original pick comes back into your life and you press pause, you're hurting both people. The new person who is trying to do right by you and your first pick who still hasn't picked you. So, you know, like I said, the punchline is, do I think love triangles exist? Not in the sense. Maybe if you're into polygamy or some kind of weird thing, I don't know, that's not my thing. But if you care about somebody and then they leave your life and then you find someone else, and then both come into your life at the same time, don't let time or fate or whatever weird thing you want to figure it out. I believe in making your own fate. You know, make a choice because they deserve nothing less than that. All right, so that's my 2 cents on what, you know, I feel love triangles are about and how this goes. So again, this is Klein. You know, like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification if you like more of this. But outside of that, that's all I got to say about this. So peace.